Hey, Ivan here. Have you ever thought that we live in an era where sharing information has never been easier? How ironic it is that when you log into a Zoom session, the first thing you want to do is mute your mic and turn off your camera. The less interaction we get, the better. But this is not the best, especially in an educational environment. Hey, so now let's talk about what the real problem is for us in this new normality of education. For us, there's three main areas of opportunity. The first one, it's the lack of networking because we all know that learning theory, it's only half of what university is really about. The second one, it's different learning styles because depending on the subject, you're learning in a different pace based on what you're good at. And performance indicators because right now for teachers, we think it's harder to measure the overall performance of a group. And now that we understand what the real problem is, then what's the solution by itself? Well, let me welcome you to Let Us Know, an online platform that helps students and teachers to effectively teach and learn in an online environment by promoting collaboration between students and clear performance indicators for teachers. And now, let's get into the real juice of this presentation. How does it actually work? So there are three very simple steps of functionality in order for you to fully understand it. The first one is that as a teacher, you have to record a lecture. The second step as a teacher again is that you have to create some checkpoints or milestones according to each subject mentioned on your lecture via timestamps as shown in this image. The third step is as a student, you just play the recording and according to each checkpoint, you get this message. Are you ready for the next one? If you say yes, then you get a little quiz and in order to advance to the next checkpoint, right? If you fail it or you say no, the recording just repeats until you fully understand it. But talking about this milestone or timestamps, let's get way more deep into this. Welcome to our milestone system. As we mentioned on the last explanation, this is our taskbar and you can clearly see each milestone or checkpoint, however you want to call it. Each little circle represents a user, or in this case, a classmate on the lecture. As you can see, there's a little alert sign on two of them. This means they need help on this part of the lecture. The little orange hands means that these two are collaborating on the same task, and the little circles on green represent that you're available and you're advancing on this lecture. So, what's the point of this? You can measure your own progress with your classmates and give or ask for help in real time. You can learn at your own pace with clear deadlines too, and as a teacher, you can evaluate the progress in real time of the whole group and incentivize giving help and collaboration by a point system. So the more you collaborate with each other, this represents, for example, extra points, so everyone does not stop learning. This sounds awesome, right? But how does it look? This is a mock-up our team actually developed, where we can see a login page, the menu, the milestones we already talked about but in an app, the asking for help tab where you can contact your classmates, and the lectures and quizzes. We can see you can actually tap on the video where there's a checkpoint in the middle and the quiz according to that. So I think this gives a really good image on what the app will look like. Hey there again! So now let's talk about what the integration will be on this technology. In short, we don't want to replace some platforms that are available right now, such as Zoom or Canvas, which we use a lot here in Mexico. We want to work with them. For example, in Zoom, you can record a lecture fully, export it, and just import it into our program, and just create the timestamps or milestones as we call them. In Canvas, you have the whole course structure, at least this is how we manage it in Mexico. So the only thing you want to do is just import information into our platform, So there's no real challenge in that, and we think it's very accessible for current features specifically. In the future, we want to make a future iteration where there's a interactive agenda with graphics and everything, but this will be our version 2.0 definitely. And now that we fully understand what our platform does and what problem it solves, let's talk about how to make money with it. So our business model, it's going to be licensing. Very similar to Microsoft Office or Canvas in an institutional way. We want to create different plans with it. For example, the first one could be personal, which is free, where you can access and make any course for free. The second one is for group, which has limited accessibility based on the amount of people they're in. And the last one, which is the most important one, which is our actual target, it's the institutional one, where universities and different academic institutions can use it. And not only that, in jobs too can be used, right? So this is our pretty basic structure. You can see what benefits you get with each one. And let's move on to the next slide. We really hope this gave you a very clear vision on what our project is. But remember, if you have any question or any trouble, let us know.